Hey guys, it's Miranda here. We are going to make cheese sauce. I am most famous for that. People love it. You can use it to put it on pasta. You can put it on Philly cheesesteaks. You can put it on chicken. You do whatever you want with this sauce. So we're going to cut some onion. So there's some cut. If you want it more finely chopped, you can. It's whatever you prefer. I like a little bit of chunks of onion in mine. Okay, so I put in, it's almost like a full block of butter. My burner gets really hot because of the direct heat. You do not want to burn the butter, so you want to turn it down a little bit and just let it melt. Okay, so the butter is almost melted. Fun fact, see that white? That is the milk solids and it's separating. So underneath all of this, it's called clarified butter. So when people ask, what's clarified butter? Well, this is it. And you get a nice, clear, beautiful yellow butter. There's no sense of separating it. The butter is melted. We're gonna throw the onion in. And this is the secret, where everyone asks, why does your cheese sauce always have so much flavor? Well, I cook this into the butter. So the onion, and then I give her 2 good heapings. And then I'll add the pepper and a little bit of salt. I know butter is salty, but every single layer of when you're putting stuff together, you always salt it, because that's how you just come out with the most perfect, yummy, delicious food. So I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, not too much. I just want that onion to kind of cook a little bit. So this is cooking away. Next step would be the cornstarch. You can add flour if you want. It's a little bit different ratio, but I am gluten-free, so I will use cornstarch in this. I'll show you the consistency that I usually make it to, because having Parmesan or cheese, it also binds it, and you don't want it too thick. I have a 1/3 of a scoop thing here. So what I'll do is I'll get a whisk, turn this down, and I'm gonna start adding, and then I'll show you the consistency. So make sure you stir, because if you just throw it in, it will clump right up. And make sure you stir really consistently, because you don't want that to clump, because you don't want to ruin the base of it. If you feel better making a slurry, just put milk or a little bit of cream with this, and then it won't clump. But you just do this. Alright, so that's the consistency I'm looking for. You want that all cooked out, especially with flour. You do not want to have raw clumps of flour in there. It doesn't taste well. So you want to make sure you cook it out. So just keep stirring. So just keep stirring. So just keep stirring. And now we add the cream. I have a full one here. I'm also making like a huge amount of cheese sauce right now, but it freezes really well if you wanted to make extra, because it's something that's super easy and fast to make for your family. So make sure you just keep stirring. Don't just leave it. All right, so that needs to firm up. So I'm gonna let it cook a little bit to kind of cook the cream. Add a little bit more salt, every layer. Okay, so you can feel it. It's like starting to kind of tighten. The cornstarch is working, and you can feel it when you're stirring. If it's too much, like if you're kind of fighting with it, then you might want to add a little bit more milk. See, I like cream because I like it rich. See how it's getting thick? See that? You don't want that gelatinous. So you keep adding a little more cream because you don't want that. It's good that it's thickening up. It's a really good thing. It's just, you can add whatever kind of milk you want. I've even made this lactose free one time. And if you don't like the onion chunks or you're all about the texture, then you can take an immersion blender and just kind of mush them together. I like the textures personally. I added more cream. That means a little more salt. Okay, so now we're at the texture of where I want it. We've let it cook. The reason I let it kind of cook down a bit so then I can see if it's gonna tighten up, so I can see where the consistency is gonna be. It's all about feel for me. So this is what I want it to look like. It's still pliable, very kind of soupy. That's what I want. All right, so another one of my secrets, and I am telling you all, if you don't have this, then you can just use a bouillon cube. This is gluten-free, and I love using it. It's the liquid Knorr chicken base. I put a huge amount because it gives it that depth, and that's what you're looking for in a cheese sauce, especially when it's going against something blank like potatoes or pasta. So you just stir that in, and then we're gonna add, it's my favorite herb, I use it all the time and everything, is basil. I cut it up fresh and I froze it. So I'm gonna put in probably like a tablespoon and a bit. It just gives it that extra dynamic of what you're looking for in a cheese sauce. So you just stir it in. Another little trick too is when we go to the cheese, if you want it more elegant looking, you can keep it white. So you would want to use like a white cheese. But the biggest thing is I like cheese with a lot of flavor. So old cheese, extra old cheese. If you want it smoky, you can do Gouda. I love Havarti, so I know it's a light cheese, but it complements all the other cheeses. So right now I'm working with white cheddar and orange cheddar, extra old. So that's what I like. And then at the end, I'll cut up some Havarti cubes with a little bit of medium. And I like the texture of having like gooey cheese instead of it all being mixed in. So sour cream, I have about a tablespoon here. Gives it a little bit of tart, so about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little more. I like the sour cream. And then I add Dijon mustard. You can do powdered mustard if you want. Dijon just has that little bit of a kick that I prefer. So not too much because you don't want it to overpower it. I have a teaspoon here. And then just give it a good little stir. So see how it's kind of tightening up again? That's what you want, but I don't want it this heavy. So I'm gonna take milk this time because there's a lot of cream in there. It's gonna be super rich. So you just kind of keep going until it's easy to stir, not like you're going against the tide here. After I added a little bit more milk, I got my little tasting spoons here. If you can taste it throughout the process, taste it, because then that's when you can add things if you need it, because after it's all done, it's harder to add things. So that is exactly what I'm looking for. So now we can go to the cheese. I have it already grated. This is Parmesan. Parmesan will tighten that up a little bit too, but you want it gooey. And so I have it shredded. So I'll add that, and never add it at the beginning because it will just burn and stick and it's just a mess. Make make your roux and then make your sauce and then do your cheese. Fun fact. So I needed more cheese. I had some marble I had to use up. I don't like using marble, but I wanted to get rid of it, and this is a great way to do that. So I put big chunks in. Not recommended when you're trying to melt it down, but it's fine. Plus, I really like chunks of cheese in my cheese sauce. See the consistency here? Like it's starting to get stringy. And that's what you're looking for. With adding big chunks too, the downfall is you have to keep stirring it because it will be a burnt mess if you don't. This is for the end, so that you have those little bites of cheese in it. Okay, this is what you want it to look like. See those chunks of cheese in there? They're starting to swirl around. Also too, if you've accidentally put a little bit too much cream or a little bit too much milk, then Parmesan will suck that moisture in. All right, so we're gonna add all this. Give it a little stir. See how mine is kind of turning a little bit orange, but it's still white. All right, so this is what it looks like. Get your little tasting spoons. Make sure everything is in line before you serve it. That is amazing. Just one more time, just to be sure. And one more time, just to be sure again. This is my cheese sauce to you, and I hope you enjoy it. You can put it in containers, throw it in the freezer because it's easy to freeze and it stays in there for a long time if it's wrapped correctly. So I hope you enjoy, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys watching, and thank you for cooking with me.